Picture this, a tiny, struggling city on the banks of the Tiber River, just a cluster of huts and farmland. No one could have guessed that this small settlement would grow into the most powerful empire the world had ever seen. Rome would go on to conquer continents, inspire cultures, and leave a legacy that still shapes our lives today. From the laws that govern nations to roads and buildings that have stood for thousands of years, from epic battles and brilliant leaders to shocking betrayals and political intrigue, Rome's story has it all. In the next minutes, we'll travel through time to explore how Rome rose from humble beginnings to dominate the Mediterranean, enjoy centuries of glory, face decline, and eventually fall. Along the way, you'll discover fascinating stories, incredible inventions, and the timeless lessons left behind by one of history's greatest civilizations. Rome's story begins with a legend almost as famous as the empire itself, the tale of Romulus and Remus. According to the myth, twin brothers were abandoned as babies and raised by a she-wolf. When they grew up, they decided to build a city, but a fierce argument led Romulus to kill Remus. Romulus became the first king, and the city of Rome was born. While the story may be legend, it reflects the values the Romans held dear: courage, ambition, and loyalty to their city. In reality, Rome started as a small collection of villages along the Tiber River. The early Romans were farmers, shepherds, and craftsmen, struggling to survive while surrounded by rival tribes. Rome was first ruled by kings, and during this period, it began developing traditions, religious practices, and social structures that would shape its future. The people celebrated festivals, worshipped gods like Jupiter and Mars, and built simple temples and fortifications. Despite being small and often under threat, Rome's disciplined society, strategic location, and strong sense of community laid the foundation for something far greater. These early years set the stage for a city that would one day rule the world. Around 509 BC, the Romans grew tired of kings and overthrew their monarchy, creating the Roman Republic. Power was no longer in the hands of one ruler. It was shared among elected officials called consuls, while a governing body known as the Senate represented Rome's elite citizens. Ordinary people, called plebeians, gained their own representatives, called tribunes, to protect their rights. The Republic was not without conflict. Patricians, the wealthy elite, often clashed with plebeians over laws, taxes, and political power. This struggle led to the creation of the 12 Tables, Rome's first set of written laws, an idea so influential that it inspired legal systems for centuries. Meanwhile, Rome was expanding. Its disciplined army conquered neighboring tribes across Italy, using clever strategies and strict organization. Famous figures like Cincinnatus became symbols of Roman virtue. A farmer who temporarily left his plow to lead armies, then returned home once duty was done. During this period, Rome also absorbed influences from neighboring civilizations, like the Etruscans and Greeks, adopting their art, architecture, and religious practices. The Republic thrived on a combination of military skill, political innovation, and a deep sense of civic duty, laying the groundwork for the empire that would later dominate the Mediterranean. As Rome grew stronger, its ambitions stretched far beyond the Italian peninsula. The Republic soon found itself facing its greatest rival, Carthage, a powerful city-state in North Africa. The result was a series of epic conflicts known as the Punic Wars. During the Second Punic War, the brilliant Carthaginian general Hannibal famously led elephants across the Alps, striking fear into the heart of Rome. Yet, through resilience, strategy, and determination, Rome eventually defeated Carthage, solidifying its dominance over the Western Mediterranean. But Rome didn't stop there. The Republic expanded into Greece, Asia Minor, and parts of the Middle East, absorbing the rich culture, philosophy, and knowledge of the Greeks. Roman society was shaped by these encounters. Art, architecture, and religion flourished as Rome blended its own traditions with those of conquered peoples. The military, disciplined and relentless, was key to this expansion. Legions marched across deserts, rivers, and mountains, building roads and fortifications that not only aided conquest, but also connected the empire. By the end of this period, Rome had transformed from a regional power into a Mediterranean giant, respected and feared by all its neighbors. Its political system, military prowess, and cultural adaptability set the stage for the next chapter, the fall of the Republic and the rise of the empire. As Rome continued to expand, its political system began to show cracks. Wealthy elites grew richer, generals gained personal loyalty from their armies, and political rivalries turned deadly. One man, Julius Caesar, would come to symbolize both the greatness and the danger of this era. Caesar was a brilliant general, winning campaigns in Gaul and extending Rome's borders. But his growing power worried the Senate, who feared he might make himself king. In 44 BC, Caesar was assassinated on the Ides of March, a shocking act that plunged Rome into civil war. Out of the chaos rose Augustus, formerly known as Octavian. After defeating his rivals, Augustus became Rome's first emperor in 27 BC, marking the official start of the Roman Empire. Under his rule, Rome entered the Pax Romana, or Roman peace, a period of stability, prosperity, and incredible cultural achievement that lasted over 2 centuries. During this time, Rome's influence stretched from Britain in the north to Egypt in the south, from Spain in the west to Mesopotamia in the east. Roads, aqueducts, and monumental buildings connected the empire, while Roman law and governance created a sense of unity across vast lands. The transition from republic to empire was more than just a change of rulers. It was a transformation of Roman society itself, setting the stage for centuries of dominance and leaving a legacy that still inspires the world today. Life in the Roman Empire was as fascinating as its conquests. Citizens lived in a world of grand architecture, bustling cities, and innovative engineering. Roads connected distant provinces, aqueducts carried fresh water to towns, and monumental buildings like the Colosseum hosted gladiator battles that thrilled the crowds. Daily life varied greatly depending on wealth and status. The elite lived in luxurious villas, enjoyed lavish feasts, and participated in politics and social events. Ordinary Romans, farmers, craftsmen, and merchants worked hard, but could still enjoy public entertainment like theater, chariot races, and baths. Religion played a central role too. Romans worshiped gods such as Jupiter, Mars, and Venus. But over time, Christianity spread, eventually becoming the empire's dominant faith and changing its spiritual landscape forever. Roman culture also left a lasting mark on art, literature, and language. Latin became the foundation of modern European languages, while Roman law influenced legal systems around the world. From engineering marvels to cultural achievements, Roman society showcased innovation, discipline, and a drive to leave a lasting legacy. despite its power and glory, Rome was not invincible. By the 3rd century AD, the empire faced a perfect storm of challenges. Political corruption weakened leadership, economic troubles drained the treasury, and overexpansion made it difficult to defend distant borders. Barbarian invasions added to the strain. Groups like the Visigoths, Vandals, and Huns pushed into Roman territory, sacking cities and disrupting trade. The once unified empire was finally split into western and eastern halves to make it easier to manage. But even this couldn't stop the decline. Internal struggles further destabilized the empire. Rival generals fought for power, loyalty among troops wavered, and social inequality fueled unrest. The Western Empire, in particular, became increasingly vulnerable to external attacks. By the late 5th century, centuries of pressure had taken their toll. The Western Roman Empire would soon face its final collapse, marking the end of an era that had shaped the ancient world. In 476 AD, the Western Roman Empire finally fell when the last emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was overthrown. Yet this was not the end of Rome's story. The Eastern Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire, continued for nearly 1,000 more years, preserving Roman law, culture, and traditions. Rome's true legacy lives on in countless ways. Our legal systems, languages, architecture, roads, and even city planning are all influenced by Roman innovation. Ideas about government, citizenship, and civic duty still shape societies around the world today. The rise and fall of Rome is more than a history lesson. It's a story of ambition, resilience, creativity, and caution. It reminds us how even the greatest powers can face challenges and how the ideas they leave behind can endure far longer than the empire itself. Rome may have fallen, but its mark on history is eternal.